All right. We back. We back tonight with another show, man. I told y'all, man. I told y'all, man, we gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? No problem. Pull on up. Show that love. So, so I appreciate my people for being in the building. What's up, man? Who's up tonight? Who's up tonight? All right. Saturday night, man. You know, a lot of people are up, so let's do it. Let's do it. We up. All right. Air down, and we're gonna get down to business. Get down to business. Oh yeah. The truth. What's up, man? What's up, man? Saturday night. Salute to my people for tapping in. You already know what it's time to do. Yeah, man. We had a dope show earlier. And I want to have another one late Saturday night, 9:09 West Coast time, 12:09 a.m. East Coast time. So it's already midnight back east. 11:09 Dallas Central time. Dallas, Texas, that is. You know, Trump almost got hit. I heard about that, man. We're going to talk about that in the morning. We going to talk about it in the morning. As soon as I gather some more details, yeah, we'll. You know how we do, man. We'll talk about that. No problem. Seal, what's up, brother? What is up? A lot of you hear the conversation is what it is. King Supreme. You're right in the right you need to be if you tapped in with me. Said T Wolves did that. Anyway, man, let's get into this conversation.
Gonzalez situation, as you know, she recently
Let's get it.
was fired as of Friday from the Houston Police Department. But the conversation has not stopped about the anti-black racism that goes on in the Latino community. Of course, it's not every Latino that feels that way. Of course not. But it's still there. And a lot of it comes from their homeland and how they treat other Latinos. And this Afro-Latina is going to, bring up that fact among many others. We're going to check this out.
One thing you know about me, I'm always going to call out the Latino community.
Shout out to Solani. What's good? What's good, you lady? Shout out to the brothers. Shout out to the ladies.
Because as a Afro-Latina, y'all know y'all racist. I know because y'all treat people that look like me and darker like with this Ashley Gonzalez. Let me tell you. Now, you're right. The people that say, "Oh, she don't represent Latinos as a whole," y'all are right. But then also, there's people that look exactly like her that says the racist that she was saying in her video, and then think y'all gonna get away with that. They're not.
No, what you should have said is there's a large percentage of Latinos who feel the same way as Ashley Gonzalez. So we can't say that she don't represent the Latino community. By large, yes, she does. I'm telling you. I would say the majority of Latinos feel like that. Anything over 50% is the majority. Well over than 50% of Latinos don't like black people. Let's just call it what it is. It's a part of their culture. They've been indoctrinated with anti-blackness. It is what it is. Let's be real, people. It's the majority of them. It'd be one thing if it was only a small minority of them who felt that way, but in reality, it's the complete opposite. I'll say the large majority of people in their community feel this way. Come on, man. We got to stop playing and be honest.
Not only is that y'all already don't respect the people that's here, the black folk that's already here, but y'all also don't even respect the that says the racist that she was saying in her video, and then think y'all gonna get away with that. Then not only is that y'all already don't respect the people that's here, the black folk that's already here, but y'all also don't even respect the Afro-Latinos in your own country. Mind you, y'all will sit there and be like, oh my gosh, Latinos, we're all one. Whole time we're not. Y'all disrespect black people, and then y'all disrespect the same black folks in your own country, and then bring that here. Oh, that always wanna know why? Because me, as an Afro-Latino, does not experience the same thing that you people that's lighter than me experience. You don't have to deal with the constant, oh, I didn't know you speak Spanish every time you talk to another Latino in Spanish. You don't have to experience that, which is weird because you think because I look like this, that don't mean I speak Spanish? So yeah, that is dead wrong. She's dead wrong. Does she represent Latinos as a whole? No, but there's people that look just like her that's racist and say the racist she say and disrespect the black people here, period. And then on top of that, y'all voted for people that look like her voted for fucking Trump. So the worst part about it, none of y'all want to sit here and actually take accountability. Like, y'all know in the Latin community how fucking racist these people is. Y'all come from these racist countries that teach you how to be racist, and y'all bring that here, but y'all don't want to take accountability. Y'all don't want to take, and that's the problem. Because every time I call my people out, y'all want to sit there and call me, and knowing you're not supposed to say that, knowing I will slap the out of you if you was to say that in my mother's face. And that's the problem with the Latino community. Y'all don't know how to take accountability because y'all so brainwashed by y'all colonizers.
This particular situation,
of course, they're never going to admit that. You just got to be smart enough to see it for what it is. Latinos will look at you in the face and say, no, we're not racist, when in reality, the majority of them are, bro. It's just a part of their culture. A lot of them was raised that way. There's very few people that's going to admit that they're racist. I didn't see white supremacists with swastikas tatted on them say, no, I'm not a racist. So for the most part, most racists will say they're not. Now you'll have some of them. You got some of them out there who will admit, like, hey man, I don't like black people. They'll be honest about it. But the majority of people who are racist towards blacks will say that they're not. You just got to know that. So never judge them based on what they say. Judge them based on their actions. Look at how their people feel about black folks collectively, not on an individual basis. Look at how they treat black folks collectively. That's your answer. So they're never going to admit it. For the most part, they're not going to admit it. You got to be smart enough to just see it for what it is.
Ashley Gonzalez has really brought that conversation to the forefront. And yes, a lot of Afro-Latinos have had this same conversation that she's having. You know, how many times have Amara La Negra have talked about this? She's about one of the ones that talked about this the most, about the discrimination within the Latino community themselves. And then when they had black people, basically, the Afro-Latinos, so yeah, we Afro-Latino and all that. Like, why are you trying to make a division? We just all Latinos. Why are you trying? You know, listen, I'm going to tell Afro-Latino something. You are Afro-Latino or Afro-Latina. You are, okay? When somebody tries to tell you, oh, we just all one, why are you making a division? That is erasure. And you do not take cultural erasure. You don't do that. Cultural erasure is dangerous, because if a person can culturally erase you, then they can also try to mass get rid of you, basically. You understand what I'm saying? So you never let no one dismiss your heritage, dismiss your lineage. You are people of African descent. A lot of you went through slavery in these Latin American countries, and you still there today, this day. That's why you speak Spanish and all of that, right? You know what I'm saying? You part of the diaspora, and you should not ever let that go. Don't be confused and trying to say, oh, I'm a national, you know, everybody loves to talk about it's quite funny because they've been at the forefront of this, I'm not black, I'm Dominican situation. I always thought that's the funniest thing ever. Until ICE show up, then you're ready to be black. But don't ever throw away your heritage for nobody. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because the way you definitely in a lot of the Latin American countries, they don't act like you all one. The lighter skin is better and the darker skin is bad. And we're not even talking about just the Afro-Latinos. It can be the dark-skinned indigenous Latinos. You know what I'm saying? They don't like them either. So it has nothing to do with just being black per se. You can be.
Yeah, well, they look at them like they're black. Like dark-skinned Mexicans, they're called negro, crow, negro. They all have those black names. Blackness is frowned upon in Latin America. Let's just call it what it is. They got it from the Spanish colonizers. That's where they learned. That's where they learned this anti-blackness from, right?
Them and just be extremely dark skinned and they don't like you. They want to call you, they'll call them ugly. They'll tell them, hey, don't go in the sun because you'll get it darker and all this sort of thing. Oh, we hope you marry a white man so you can lighten the kids up. Like that's that mindset.
Like vida raza, whatever, however they say that. They say whiten up the race to better the race. Let's get rid of the black name. So the lighter they get, the better they feel out, the better off they feel. This is why in Latin America they fight so hard to have baby with lighter skinned people, because they want to erase that black gene out of their country. They want to erase the black gene from their family. So when they say whiten up the race, they mean that. They teach them at a young age, do not have a baby with someone who's dark. Lighten it up. Let's whiten up them genes now. Let's erase that black gene immediately, instantly. They're ashamed of their black grandmother. Listen, Latinos, whiter skinned Latinos are ashamed of their dark skinned abuela. Their great grandmother, their abuela. They're ashamed of it. So they try their best to erase that black gene out of their family. This is a sick mentality, but when you've been indoctrinated by Spanish conquistadors, that mindset is normal. It's a part of their culture. It's embedded in their psyche.
Said that's in Latin America. It's a straight up colonized mindset. And I'm so glad our people in America don't think like that, Lord. And like I told y'all before, they bring their culture here. So they just don't bring their food and their music and no. They also bring the negativity of their cultures too with them. And unfortunately for us as black Americans, because they don't like the black people in their homeland, well, guess what happens when they come here? The exact same thing. So that's a cultural thing that's going on that you see coming from their homelands.
Yeah, man, it's a cultural, man. Like when you've been around Mexicans, you know, they bring that mess from their homeland. They get it from their grandfathers, their grandparents, and they pass it down. They can't stand blackness in Latino culture. Being black is one of the worst things ever in Latino culture. They try to avoid blackness. They look down on the black people who live in, they look down on the blacks in Mexico. They barely added the blacks to the census in 2015, barely added them to the Constitution. Mexicans treated their animals better than they treat black folks in Mexico, I promise you. The animals in Mexico get treated better than the blacks who live in southern Mexico today. I promise you, I'm telling you. They have no media representation. They're not represented in politics. They kept them out of the Constitution, kept them out of the census. Mexico ignored their black population's existence. Facts.
Once again, no, not everybody is that way in their community. They'll be ignorant to say that. But there are those that are, and you have to address it as such.
See, I'm not going to sit up here and say it's just a few of them, man. Nah, anything over 50% is the majority. The majority of them feel this way. It's indoctrinated. They've been indoctrinated. It's embedded in their psyche. What? Anti-blackness. So anytime you see me talk about it, I will say the majority of them feel this way, because they do. They'll try to downplay it and make it seem like it's only a small percentage of their people who feel like that. But those of us who know the truth, man, we know better than that, man. We know better than that. It ain't just a small minority of them who feel this way. Come on, man. The majority of them feel this way. if you hung around Mexicans and Latinos long enough, you know this to be true.
Now, with us delineating, we don't really have to deal with nobody too much no more. We're not on no coalitions. We're not doing anything. We didn't delineate it now. And that when we say delineated, see, some people thought it was just something about the diaspora. No. It's delineating from everybody, from America, right? Even though the term is delineate, I know what the term is, but also it's kind of more broad than just the initial term, because the initial term you would think, okay, well, you just kind of setting your own ethnic group within the diaspora and making sure you solidify that. That was only like a small part of it. The rest of it is more so, no, we're not involving ourselves with none of you, period. And as you can clearly see, we ain't got no problem fighting when it's for us. We have no problem fighting. Okay, now, like I said, the Ash situation's handled. We can go back to arresting. And then if somebody else pulls something, we'll be right back on the front line fighting again. But we only gonna fight for ourselves. But the brothers and sisters that's Afro-Latinos and Afro-Latinas, stand up. Take a stand. Don't put up with that racism. Refuse to.
Yeah, so shout out to bro, man. Shout out to bro. Bro. Check this out.
Of the Demetra K Show here on YouTube and a proud contributor of the African Diaspora News Channel. If you could please do me a favor and subscribe to all channels and like this video, I would
watch how mad they get about reparations, right? Watch how upset they get about when there's talks of us getting reparations. It pisses them off. They don't want to see us get no reparation. Hell no.
Appreciate it. So in 2020, Governor Gavin Newsom of California signed into legislation to create a task force that would decide if Black Californians, American descendants of slaves, would be entitled to reparations. And this is what happened after they got together. Californians eligible for reparations, the task force decided in March, would be descendants of enslaved African Americans or free Black persons living in the United States prior to the end of the 19th century. Nearly 6.5% of California residents, roughly 2.5 million, identified as Black or African American. The panel is now considering how reparations should be distributed. Some favor tuition and housing grants, while others want direct cash payments. The task force has identified 5 areas: housing discrimination, mass incarceration, unjust property seizures, devaluation of Black businesses, and healthcare. In discussions for compensation, for example, from 1933 to 1977, when it comes to housing discrimination, the task force estimates compensation of around $569 billion, with $223,000 per person. So yes, you heard it right. They have decided that it sounds like Black Californians who are American descendants of slavery should get around $23,000 in reparations. And so, of course, there's a lot of people who are like, wait a minute, I don't believe that they should get it. My family didn't own slaves. But particularly, there's a group of Hispanics, and they're going by Chicanos. They said this on their Facebook. If African Americans are getting reparations, $300,000 per person, land return, business loans.
Now, this is the Chicano Post, right? Check this out. Get the likes up for your boy on the late night. Get the likes up for your boy.
If African Americans are getting reparations, $300,000 per person, land return, business loans, housing grant, tuition, wage increase, and job protections, why not any reparations for Mexican Americans? Mexican Americans also had their land stolen, massacred, exiled, enslaved, and lynched. Chicanos have been here before America had even existed. California was never a part of African American slavery history or slave trade. They should do that in the South. Let the people of California decide on this matter, not some politician seeking a presidential run. Well, I want to say this. I've heard a lot of people say, well, California wasn't complicit in the slave trade. Yes, it was. They particularly signed into legislation in 1852 a form of the Fugitive Act, which says that if slaves, because California was considered a free state, but if slaves escaped from the South to California, they were obligated to send them back, to give them back to their slave master. And in fact, when slave owners would come to California, or go to California rather, I'm acting like I'm still there. When they would go to California from the South, they would bring their slaves, and California didn't get in the way of that. They didn't say, well, you know what? We're a free state here, so you can't do slavery here. They just allowed it to go on. And so, yes, and even, far back as the 1700s, there was enslaved black people in California. So people should do their research before they just blurt out stuff. But back to this post, from the Chicano Americans, Mexican Americans. Well, you know what? Take that up on Gavin Newsom. Don't try to impede on what we are supposed to be getting as black Californians. Yes, I'm a black Californian. Don't impede on what we getting. Go take that up with them. But it should also be said, as I said, I'm from California, and they have a whole host of Indian casinos, and they have land and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so, they are getting stuff, but don't hate on us.
They're gonna Mexicans ain't never said nothing about no other group getting reparations, but they don't want blacks to get no reparations. Oh, they hate them blacks. They ain't said a word about no other group. The minute that talks of reparations came up, when they even thought that blacks, man, when they thought we had a chance at getting reparations, they spoke out against that. That one Mexican dude said, the Mexican community needs to march and protest to stop blacks from getting reparations. It ain't fair. It ain't fair to give blacks reparations. No, it ain't fair.
We want ours too. It shouldn't be an either or. It can be an also, right? Y'all can get what y'all asking for, and we can get what we want, right? Now, will it take place? I don't know. Hopefully it will. But as the person said at the end of that hateful rant about Gavin Newsom running for president, from what I understand, he said he was not going to seek to run for president in 2024. So it's just a lot of bad information
so there
going
you go.
on.
So it is what it is. I'm just showing you, man. Oh man, this is crazy. Check this out, man. I got.
Bro, my tongue is so blue. Bitch.
And you got Latinos using black racial slurs. These are some more Mexican women. Mexican, Latina. Come on, black people, let's wake up. It ain't just a small percentage of them who do this. The majority of them feel this way. Come on, man. We got common sense. Please use our common sense. Don't let these people tell you it's only a small minority of people from their community who do this. It ain't a small minority. Hell no.
Your pussy's black. Okay. Oh my god, my titty.
Black is crazy.
Who the where is that nigga going?
Don't say nigga. Say nigger.
No, this bitch got pressed. Someone said you need to stop saying nigga.
Ooh, that's black little bitch.
Bro, let me tell you the story. Okay, so Haley, bitch, we were talking and she was like,
enough of these three little bitches. A couple of months ago, I made a video. I think the video is called Brown and Black Unity, or No Such Thing as Brown and Black Unity. If you scroll down, you'll find it. But either way, the point is that in that video, I claimed that the reason there can never be brown and black unity is because Mexican culture, at least mainstream, colonized Mexican culture. It has a very deep and strong stain of anti-blackness in it. Modern post-colonial Mexican culture, meaning today's Mexican culture, by default carries anti-blackness. And meanwhile, on one hand, it carries anti-blackness. On the other hand, it carries the collective effort to desire proximity to whiteness, to desire white validation, white alignment. When I posted that video, a lot of Mexicans, Chicanos, Latinos came in there angry with me. What are you talking about, bro? I have black friends. What you talking about? One of my aunties married a black guy. And basically all the talking points of white people when you call them racist. Or specifically when you call them anti-black.
Basically what they're saying is, no, that's not true. Anytime you confront them with this, they will say, no, it's not true. As if we're just making these things up. As if we're just pulling this stuff from the thin sky, from the clear blue sky, and pulling tricks out of our hat. As if we don't have tons of evidence to prove what we've been saying for years. So we're just making it up. Yes, no, it's not true. I cool with black people. It's not true. All right, man. All right.
Unfortunately, when it comes to these subject matters, most people are not educated enough to understand what it means when I say post-colonial Mexican culture has anti-blackness. They have no idea what that even means. And because of that, although I'm speaking the same language that they speak, it becomes esoteric, meaning that I'm speaking in a language that you understand, but I'm speaking about a subject matter that you are not educated enough to understand. So although I'm speaking your language, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So what it means when I say that
came in contact with the colonizer, that's when they became anti-black. Prior to the conquistadors showing up, they didn't think that way. This is post-colonial behavior. This is a post-colonial mindset. They got like this after they encountered the Spanish conquistadors. They've been indoctrinated with anti-blackness. It's embedded in their psyche. It's a part of their everyday reality.
Post-colonial Mexican culture has anti-blackness in it is that the people that you were colonized by, you Mexicans, they implemented anti-blackness in your culture when they colonized you. In this case, the Spaniards brought forth, violently installed the caste system in your Mexican culture, which resulted in, as a Mexican collective, practicing things like mejorando la raza, to improve the race. And because the caste system has subconsciously taught you generation after generation that black and or dark skinned is inferior and white is superior, whether you have the ability to grasp, have you been affected by it or not, it is still in your subconscious. And therefore, as a collective of Mexican people, and this applies to Latin America, by the way, as a whole, the caste system was installed in every country in Latin America
by the Spanish conquistadors. The caste system was introduced to Latin America by the Spanish conquistadors. They planted seeds of hatred. They planted seeds of anti-blackness. It's embedded in their psyche. It's a part of their everyday reality. The Spanish conquistadors indoctrinated them with this anti-blackness, so this behavior is pretty damn common. Why you think you seen Ryan Garcia calling blacks monkeys, saying it was just joking? Teofimo Lopez made monkey N-word jokes. He's a boxer. Ryan Garcia's daddy did it. Nuri Martinez of the LA City Council said blacks were monkeys and da-da-da-da. Ashley Gomez said that blacks are monkeys and N-words. She said the N-word 50 times in a 3-minute video. The Mexican chick that used to work for the Houston Police Department, yeah. And I have many more examples. Sonny from American Cholo. Sonny from American Cholo said the raza needs to march in every protest to stop blacks from getting reparations. So don't let them gaslight you. It is true. This anti-blackness is a part of their culture. There's no other way you can slice it. There's no way you can get around it. The facts are just the facts.
The Spaniards. So this isn't just about Mexicans. This is Latin America as a whole. This isn't just about Mexicans. This is Latin America as a whole. At least everywhere where Spaniards colonized. They practice generation.
This boxer never once challenged what I'm saying. He's deflecting instead of dealing with the question at hand. He knows that his people are anti-black. He knows that, but he'll make excuses as if I'm just he'll make excuses for it, or just try to make it seem like we're just making this up. He know what I'm saying is true. He can't debunk anything that I said. Mexicans in East LA firebombed some black people apartments just for living there. The Hawaiian Gardens, another anti-black gang in Los Angeles, they firebombed black people just for living in their communities. So, Boxer, I know you want to deflect. I know you want to lie. I know you want to deny. I know you want to deflect. But hey, homie, microphone check. The truth is the truth. The cat is out the bag. Everybody across the country knows this about Mexicans. We're not making this up. We have plenty of examples. Tons of, man, listen, homie, I have so many examples that I could use, so it's ridiculous. So nobody believes you when you try to say only a small minority of our people do this, or they'll try to say, well, blacks feel like this too. Blacks are racist too. They'll try to say some BS like that and try to compare like we're racist on the same level that they're racist. Like, man, stop it. Our grandparents didn't grow up around Mexicans, homie. Our grandparents who come from the Deep South, they didn't grow up around Mexicans. So they never taught us how to hate Mexicans. They didn't grow up around Mexicans. In Latin America, there was a caste system. They've been indoctrinated to feel this way. This has been a part of their culture for centuries. This is nothing new. You can lie, you can deny, you can try your best to deflect, but it's not gonna work. The cat is out the bag, homie.
After generation, the caste system. A system that depicts dark skin, Afro, and indigenous features as inferior, and white and or European features as superior. Hence, mejorar la raza, improve the race. And improving the race with this caste system means to whiten your next generation. How do we do that? Well, we as non-white people in Latin America, whether brown, black, in order to improve the race, mejorar la raza, we have to strive to get with white people, have children with them with hopes that our next generation comes out lighter than us, in hopes that their features are less indigenous or Afro features. And then we raise that next generation to also pass down this doctrine. And you see this everywhere in Latin America. Whitening cream is very popular in certain countries in Latin America, like Dominican Republic. You see the collective of black and brown people of Latin American countries always go for the light-skinned or just plain old white people to marry and have children with. Certain countries in Latin America, Mexico has a history of this, Venezuela has a history of this, Dominican Republic has a history of this. They've actually gone out of their way to bring boatloads of people from Europe, white people.
They did that in
Europe.
Brazil. You got to bring up Brazil. Brazil was so black at one point that they imported millions of Europeans to whiten up that country because it was too black. So they brought over millions of European immigrants and dumped them in Brazil for what? For the purpose of for the sole purpose of whitening up that damn country. They did it in Brazil. Man, look at Argentina. Argentina eradicated their black population, decimated them, put those people in extreme poverty, no access to health care. Many of those blacks died out because of diseases. They had no health care. They were treated worse than the animals. Argentina eradicated their black population to the man. I'm telling you, you better study the history when it comes to Argentina. How they eradicated their black population. Brazil imported millions of Europeans to whiten up that country. This is a sick mindset that's been all over Latin America. It ain't just Mexico. If the Spanish conquistadors colonized that country, they're going to have an anti-black mindset because the Spanish conquistadors introduced the color caste system where black was bad and being white was right. They've been indoctrinated to believe this. It's embedded in their psyche. The anti-black mentality the anti-black mentality runs rapidly through their country. They take that same anti-black racism from their country and they bring that nonsense over here. It's common sense at this point. The cat is out of the bag. Everybody knows this by now.
White people to marry and have children with? Certain countries in Latin America, Mexico has a history of this, Venezuela has a history of this, Dominican Republic has a history of this. They've actually gone out of their way to bring boatloads of people from Europe, white people from Europe. Meanwhile, prohibiting black people from entering these countries, as well as systemically making the effort to remove black and indigenous people from these countries. Because mejorando la raza is not just culturally, it's also a systemic effort. People don't understand how
when they
deep.
Listen, man, when they burn down those black people apartments in East LA, they call it ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing. Basically like getting rid of the blacks, ridding this community of its black population, ridding this community of any sign of blackness. That's the mindset that they spread in their community. Huh? If you think about the Avenues gang, the Hawaiian Gardens, East LA, it is called ethnic cleansing. Let's cleanse our community. Let's get rid of the blacks. They do the same thing in their country. Have baby with white people, better the race, eliminate the black gene. Latinos are pretty damn embarrassed. But listen, they're embarrassed when it comes to their black abuela. They're embarrassed about the fact that they got a abuela who's black. They hide her. They keep her in the closet. They don't want nobody to know. So they indoctrinate their children with anti-blackness to get them to mix and mingle with white people so that they can whiten up the race. And in their mind, they are better in the race once they whiten it up. They've been indoctrinated by the Spanish conquistadors with this mentality. It's embedded in their psyche. I don't think they can help themselves at this point. It's been a part of their culture for so long. I don't think they can help themselves by now. When you've been doing something for so long, you create bad habits and it's hard to break out of it. You're not going to stop them from being anti-black. It is what it is. Look at things for what they are instead of you wanting it to be something that is not. Accept things for what they are instead of wanting them to be something that it is not. The quicker you embrace it, the better off you will be. We're not surprised anymore. The cat is out the bag. Everybody with common sense knows this at this point. We know that Latin America has an anti-black culture.
Complex this issue is and how much we are affected by the caste system, even if we're not even aware of it. Because a lot of these ideologies that are anti-black, anti-indigenous,
Boxer the type of guy that's gonna say, nah, man, Ricardo's lying. He's just trying to suck up the black people. He's lying. See, anytime their people tell the truth about what's going on in their culture, what's going on in their country, what's going on with their people, oh, nah, man, he's just lying. He's not lying, man. We got enough experience. We've seen this stuff ourselves. We witnessed this ourselves. So when we hear this brother talk, we say, well, damn, man, we experience this all the time. We knew this to be true. The thing is, most Mexicans and Latinos are in complete denial when it comes to their anti-blackness. They're in complete denial, the majority of them.
And they've been normalized in Latin American countries. By default, the Afro hair texture is considered pelo malo, bad hair. The straight hair is considered good hair. So when that becomes normalized, well, guess what? Who's going to want to have bad hair? Nobody. The people that do have it, in order to make sure, at least to make the effort for their next generation to not have something that's considered bad, they go ahead and try to have children with people that do not have that feature in hopes that their next generation is born without this bad feature. When it has been ingrained in you to believe that dark skin is inferior and lighter skin is superior, well, guess what you're going to do? And these ideals and these views have become normalized. meaning that nobody sees anything wrong with it. So if there's nothing wrong, then it becomes the truth. So there is nothing wrong with not wanting to get with people that are deemed inferior, to not want to reproduce with people that have inferior features.
Make sure that you guys bless the like button, man. We got close to 300 some people watching. Let's get 300 people to bless that like button, man, for the content, man, on a late night. Hey, man, I told you we was going to come through with it, man.
Why would you want that? When I was around 23, 24 years old, I joined this organization. I'm not going to name the organization, but I'm just going to call it Brown Pride Organization, okay? It was an organization of Chicanos, brown people, and a lot of their efforts was to reach out to black people so we could build a coalition, brown and black unity. That was appealing to me. And everybody in this organization went out of their way to reach out to black people. Hey, come protest with us. Let's go show the youth that brown and black people are coming together. That sounds all right with me. But you know what's crazy? When we got together with black people, marching, protesting together, hand in hand, after the protesting and marching was over, black people go that way and we go this way. After all that protesting to show that we are coming together with black people, we then go home and we would scold at our sisters and at the women of our family members, organization members that wanted to have relations with black people. Why the hell are you getting with a black guy for? Sometimes we would throw parties, Chicano parties. We'd all gather around, have a good time, and all of a sudden a black person came in. One of us invited him, and the conversation became, hey, who invited the black guy? Why the hell are you guys inviting black people over here? Nah, bro, tell them to leave, tell them to leave. They're going to start some shit. They're going to mess up our party. And mind you, these are members of this organization that went out of their way to reach out to black people to protest together.
See, they're using you. See, what he's saying is they'll use black people to fight their cause, but underneath all of that, they really can't stand your black ass. But I'll use you to better my cause. But underneath all of that, nah, we really don't like you. We're just using you. We'll use you when it's beneficial for us. Unfortunately, that's their mindset. If they can benefit from this so-called fake coalition, then they'll pretend like there's black and brown unity. Underneath the surface, they can't stand your black ass. Don't want nothing to do with you.
Brown and black coalition, etc. Now, this is in no way, shape, or form to discourage the brown and black people out there that do want to come together genuinely. But I'm going to tell you, like I told you in that other video, that a lot of you brown people didn't like. A lot of Latinos in the comments, oh, bro, what you tripping? Why you making us look bad? We are a people that practice post-colonial ideologies that when it's all said and done, all bullshit to the side, is literally white supremacy. Our entire pride in being Mexican, think about it. Proud to speak Spanish. Proud to be Catholics. Proud to have Spanish last names. Speaking Spanish is European from Spain. Catholicism was violently brought here and forced onto us by the Spaniards. Sanchez.
See, I don't know why Mexicans love to talk about blacks being slaves. You guys were slaves to the Spaniards, the conquistadors. The Spanish conquistadors colonized Mexico, took their land from them, indoctrinated them with anti-blackness, forced them to speak Spanish, stripped them of their culture, stripped them of their way of living. The Spanish conquistadors did a number on the Mexican people, stripped them of everything, programmed them to be anti-black. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Everywhere the Spaniards went, they left their imprint on that country, indoctrinated the people. Now the Spaniards been long gone. They left Mexico a long time ago, but guess what? The mentality of white supremacy still lives there. The mindset of anti-blackness still thrives all over Latin America. And who created these conditions? The Spanish conquistadors. So it don't matter if the Spanish conquistadors left. They left their imprint. They left the spirit of anti-blackness in these countries. They've been long gone for centuries now. But guess what? The mindset of anti-blackness still thrives. It's a part of their culture. They don't want to get rid of it. Matter of fact, they enforce it. Oh man, don't you be doing with these black? They enforce this anti-blackness. They call it ethnic cleansing in communities, in predominant Mexican communities where they don't want black folks moving over there. They call it ethnic cleansing. Let's rid our community of these black folks. Let's keep it all Latino. There was a whole lot of that going on in Los Angeles and these predominant Mexican communities where they didn't want black folks moving too.
Martinez, Jose, Mario, Guadalupe, Maria, these names are also European. Our entire pride is white. We are a people that are the result of being colonized by white Spanish colonizers. And when a people are colonized, they are stripped from their ethnicities, from their culture, from their beliefs, and they are forced and conditioned generation after generation to practice the ideals, philosophies, religions, adopt the views of the people that colonized them. And in this particular case, anti-blackness, anti-indigeneity has become part of our culture that we pass on generation after generation. And the reason I make this video is to tell all of you brown people of Latin America, before you go out there and try to convince black people that it's a good idea to come together, we as a collective first need to address and confront and eliminate the anti-blackness in our culture. Because how can we come together with a people that we are anti-culturally? Impossible. First address this, solve this, eliminate this as a collective. Otherwise, when we reach out to black people about brown and black coalition, we're only doing so to use them whenever we need help. Hey y'all, ICE is coming to raid.
They
Can y'all
only
help
play
us?
that game, coalition, when they need help. When they don't need your black ass, they give you their ass to kiss. I'm just being real. I'm just being real, man.
Culturally impossible. Brown people of Latin America, before you go out there and try to convince black people that it's a good idea to come together, we as a collective first need to address and confront and eliminate the anti-blackness in our culture. Because how can we come together with a people that we are anti-culturally? Impossible. First address this, solve this, eliminate this as a collective. Otherwise, when we reach out to black people about brown and black coalition, we're only doing so to use them whenever we need help. Hey y'all, ICE is coming to raid. Can y'all help us? Hey y'all, we want this candidate to win. It'll benefit us if that candidate wins. Can y'all vote with us for this one? And meanwhile, you help us and we come together for this coalition. Can y'all stay away from our sisters, our women? Because we ain't want these half-black kids. Nah, we're trying to mejorar la raza, improve the race. We want these half-black kids. Nah, we're trying to mejorar la raza, improve the race. White in. You're messing that up for us. You see how it doesn't work? Address the anti-blackness in your Mexican culture or wherever else in Latin. You're messing that up for us. You see how it doesn't work? Address the anti-blackness in your Mexican culture or wherever else in Latin America that you're from. Stop denying that Mejorando la Raza exists. Stop denying the anti-blackness exists. It's there. And being in denial has kept it alive.
Being in denial has kept it alive. He's 100% correct, because most of them will pretend like it's not true. No, it's not true. We're not racist towards blacks, and they're very racist towards blacks. They'll lie in your face and pretend like it's not true, but we know better. Oh, we know better. The cat is out the bag. The jig is up. Come clean. Confront the anti-blackness in your communities. But of course you won't do it. Why? Because you still live in denial. You pretend like anti-blackness and your culture don't exist. as if we're just making these things up. Yeah. Yeah. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Family, let's get back to the content, baby.
To
Check this out.
Source here.
Right. Our deep dive today is based entirely on a transcript from a YouTube video. It's called "He Exposed How Latinos Sabotage Black Americans on Construction Jobs and Get Them Fired."
From the Pink Book Lessons channel.
Exactly. So our goal today, just to be upfront, isn't about taking sides. Not at all.
No, it's about understanding the perspectives shared in that specific source.
Right. We want to really unpack the experiences presented there so you, the listener, can get a more nuanced view of these, well, challenging narratives.
It's complex stuff.
It really is. We'll be looking at two main accounts from the source. Okay, so let's jump right into the first one.
Okay.
This comes from a Black man, and he owns a construction company. He talks about hiring Latino workers, only for them to allegedly complain about his African-American employees and actively try to get them fired.
And the source gets specific about the why, doesn't it? It points right at economic competition.
Yeah, it does.
These workers, according to the account, explicitly wanted to replace the black workers with, well, their own people.
They even named names, apparently, Jose and Gonzales.
Describing them as, and this is a direct quote from the source material, "My brothers who know how to work very well."
And this wasn't just happening on, like, small side jobs either, right?
No. The source mentions significant sites. Quantico Marine Base in Virginia, for one.
Wow.
And also work as a contractor for General Electric. It's a big deals.
That is. Yeah, that's a powerful start. But here's where it gets particularly interesting or maybe disturbing.
Okay.
The owner in the source claims these same workers tried to get him, an African man, the owner, to turn on his own Black American employees.
No. How do they supposedly try that?
The source suggests they used a kind of immigrant camaraderie pitch, trying to, appeal to him on that basis, perhaps.
So a direct attempt to leverage that connection to basically push out the black workers.
That's how the source presents it. And it leads the owner to make this really stark comparison.
Yeah, I remember reading that part. It's quite direct.
He says, white Americans will work with African Americans who want to work, but Latinos will not work with African Americans who want to work.
And then asserts that Latinos only work with Latinos. That's his conclusion based on his experiences.
Right. Leading him to state, in his view, that Latinos are more discriminatory and racist towards African Americans.
And the source notes the video itself was controversial,
Yeah.
right? People trying to get it removed.
Yeah, apparently. But the speaker just maintained he was, quote, speaking
You
the
see,
obvious truth.
excuse me. Now you see how racist they are. See, they'll move to a black community, put a taco stand in, and put a taco stand in your hood, and black folks buy their food because black folks weren't taught to be racist. So you spend your money with these anti-black Latinos. You listen, homie, you got immigrants who come to your community. They can barely speak English, but you patronize their business. You buy their food. You support these people. Huh? We seen it all over Los Angeles. Black people didn't have a problem buying Mexican food from the Mexicans who just crossed the border, who put a taco stand on a corner. Black folks didn't mind spending their money with these folks, man. That has to stop. Now that you know the truth, that has to stop. You don't come to my community with this anti-blackness and you think we're going to spend our money with you like we're going to support your business. You ain't got no business being there in the first place. Most of these people don't even have papers. These are illegals, undocumented. You got the nerve to put a business in a black community and we're going to sit up there and spend our money. Man, that's crazy.
So very firm in his perspective.
Very. And the source doesn't stop at construction, does it? It suggests this isn't an isolated thing.
No, it broadens out. Claims that Latinos pack house. That's the term used.
Pack house, meaning?
Meaning they allegedly fill positions with their own people and limit hiring from outside the group.
Okay.
And this is claimed to happen in other fields too, like medical, dental, even management.
Yeah,
roles.
medical, dental, management, all that stuff, man. Yeah, man. Let's go on over here. Check it out, man. Check game. Check this out. Check this out.
It's clear. First,
yeah.
I want to start off by saying that when we say things like this, we
looking at.
We are following the same agenda that we are fighting against. We are fighting against white supremacy and racism. Those ideas that, that we have, the way we think, the way we are taught to fear African Americans, that is the same thing that we are fighting against. It's no different. When we choose to speak like this and participate in these stereotypes, we are no better than the people we are fighting against. And that is a point I want to make very clear to the people within my community, that you guys sound ignorant. We need to figure it out. Where do you truly stand with this? Because, people are right. You can't ask African Americans for help when this is in the real world. That is how they are treated. My second point. Reparations are owed to the African American community. Without them, we would not be able to vote. We would not be able to go to the same schools. We would not be able to sit wherever we want. Let's not forget. They have been fighting for a very long time, since they came here. And us not acknowledging, I know, I don't feel that as a country we have paid the respect that they owe. They really do. We owe them everything. It's because of greats. They're great people. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panthers, they paved the way for us. They are the blueprint. And for us to go and participate in the same mentality that we are fighting against, it's just horrible. And it's wrong. If we don't fix this type of mentality and check our people, we are no better than the people we are up against. I want you to know that ignorance is our greatest enemy. So please do not allow yourself to be blinded by hate. I love and respect everybody, and I just want to say that if there's more people in the Latin community who are with me, I need y'all to say something. I need y'all to join the fight with me, because I can't be the only one.
Can we just talk about the anti-blackness that exists in the Latino community? Because it's a real thing. And it is only further perpetuating the division between our two communities and contributing to the overall oppression of our two communities. And I know there's going to be some people out there that's like, that's not even a thing. That's not a real issue. But it is. I grew up hearing freaking racist remarks made towards Black people. And I heard it often. And I know so many other people did. And not only is it about anti-Blackness, it's also about internalized racism that some Latinos, including myself when I was a child, felt the need to be white because I saw white people being treated better. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if I'm white, or if I consider myself white, or if I tell people that I'm white, then I am going to be treated better. I didn't understand as a child why I even felt that, but we are socialized as a society to want that unless you break out of the freaking matrix and you realize, oh my gosh, we're all being oppressed by the same freaking systems. So for us to have division and for there to be anti-Blackness in our community is not helping anyone. One, it's just wrong, but two, it's only further perpetuating the oppression that already exists in our freaking society. So there's that part. And then there's this whole dismissal of Afro-Latinos because Afro-Latinos exist, yet sometimes are classified as not Latino, when in reality, they are Latinos, Afro-Latinos. And then there's this whole freaking connection to where we find ourselves in American history, okay? And the fact that many people, many Latinos, Latino men in particular, did not want to vote for a black and Asian, but a Black woman, okay? And then there's the intersection of machismo, internalized racism, anti-Blackness, and all of it contributing, again, to the further perpetuation of oppression of our communities. That's what I need people to understand. When there's division between our two communities, that is purposeful, okay? Because these systems, these people in power want us to be infighting, when in reality, there's a lot more that we have in common. We are also being oppressed by the same systems. We should be supporting each other. And it is because of Black people and their advocacy that we, as Latinos and other communities, have the civil rights that we have today. The ability for us to even be able to have that privilege was in large due part to Black people, okay? So I need us to understand that. And I need us to have a conversation about that, because even if we were brought up that way, that doesn't mean that we can't change. That doesn't mean that we can't do better, because we can. Okay? Even if society socializes us to believe that, we can change, we can do better. So if you want to have this conversation, follow for more.
I now feel for the Black community because I know what it feels like to be racially profiled. I didn't know it before, and I thought it was a little bit of a reach, but now I totally get it. That's what a man came out on here and said. And this is why we should believe victims. This is why we should believe people's stories. This is why we should have empathy. And this is why we should be able to put ourselves in other people's shoes. Because you thought it was a reach. That's what he said. He thought it was a reach.
So she said she had to be racially profiled to believe what Black folks have been going through for centuries in this country. We've been going through this for centuries in this country. So you said you had to get racially profiled to say, oh, this is what Blacks are going through. Well, let me tell you something, lady. You look like a white woman. I don't think you was being racially profiled. Because if a cop is passing by at night, what he's going to see is a white woman. So I don't think you were being racially profiled. But, hey, I get what you're saying. But, hey.
When the Black community said that they were being racially profiled and they were getting stopped for no reason, and like it probably wasn't that serious. But now that Latinos are getting racially profiled, now he gets it. This is why empathy is so important, because you never know when
the Mexican guy. She ain't talking about herself. She's talking about the Mexican dude who got racially profiled and said, hey, I know I see what Blacks have been going through. I thought they were just complaining. I thought they were lying, fool.
Tables turn. And no, it shouldn't be transactional. It really shouldn't. You should believe people, because you should think. You should be able to think outside yourself and be like, if that was me, I would hate that. I don't have to be Black to realize that that freaking sucks. That what they go through, what they've experienced, sounds painful. That I can't even imagine the years of frustration and honestly, just freaking frustration and anger that they must feel. But guess what? Now Latinos get it. Now. And that is why we are in the situation that we are, because people don't feel for others until it happens to them.
I just want to talk about something real quick that I feel like it's not talked about enough. And y'all, please don't mind this music. These are my neighbors. It's such a strange feeling being a dark-skinned Latina, because sometimes I'm Dominican.
I don't want no copyright from this music in the background. I ain't trying to get.
Right? Sometimes I have a hard time connecting with my culture, because
you're gonna have a hard time connecting with your culture because it's rooted in anti-blackness. Latin culture is rooted in anti-blackness. Let's just call it what it is.
There are a lot of things that my culture does that I don't agree with and that I take offense to.
Okay, I gotta keep stopping it because I ain't trying to get that good old copyright, man. So hey, man, work with me.
Woman of color. So today, for example, I was at work and I was talking to a coworker that doesn't really know me well or whatever about relationships and stuff like that. He's a fair tone Dominican, so he looks more Spaniard. We all know Dominicans come in different shades and stuff like that. My whole life, I just have never been attracted to Latino men. I've always dated Black men, so Africans, Haitians, Jamaicans, like that's just what I'm naturally attracted to. And so I stated that, and he responded and said, oh, maybe if I lower my pants and drag them down with my ass showing, maybe then you'll like me. What is that even supposed to mean? Like, what are you implying when it comes to Black people? There has also been moments where I'm with another like fair tone Dominican, and I remember one time I went to BJ's, and when we got there, she said, oh my God, there's so many Black people around. I was like, what are you talking about? when I hear stuff like that, when I hear Dominicans say stuff like that, or even just any Latino country, like person, whatever, say that, like, it really pisses me the fuck off. I really hate this narrative that some Latino people look at black people this way, like there isn't black excellence and luxury classy people, classy black people, all of the above, and they just look at them like this ghetto trash, when I know that's not true. It's not true, and it really upsets me. And obviously I am of color, so I identify, I relate, and I connect more with black people, because I know what it's like to be made fun of for my complexion. That happened my whole childhood, where I got made fun of because of my complexion, and I hated that. I hated getting tanned before. I would hide under the tree and I'll be like, I don't want to get tanned, and now, thank God, I love my complexion. But literally,
she had to get around some black folks to love herself, because being around them Latinos who are anti-black, she hated her skin tone because she was made fun of. So she wanted to be lighter to fit in with the anti-black Latinos. But when she got around black people, she began to appreciate her melanated skin. She began to appreciate her beautiful God-given skin. She had to get around black folks to love the way that she looked in the mirror. Hanging around them Latinos who criticized her for being dark, it made her insecure, and rightfully so. That's what happens when you get picked on. And you're thinking that these are your people. We all Latino. Hell no, you're black. They're European. That's how they're looking at it. They don't look at you. They don't look at you like their Latino sister. They said, no, she is black.
it's comments like that as to why I'm just don't connect with the Latino culture. I don't get it. It's also so frustrating because I hate as to why I'm just don't connect with the Latino culture. I don't get it. It's also so frustrating because I've had black people tell me, oh, you want to be black so bad. And I also have had the more fair tone Latinos tell me, oh, you're not a real Latina. So I feel like there's no middle ground for us dark-skinned Latina women, and it's so frustrating.
The tension between the Black and Latino community needs to stop, and we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-blackness also exists within the Black community itself.
No, it does not. No, it does not. You don't see black people claiming to be white. Do we got some Sambos and some sellouts? Yes, but they don't represent the majority of us. And even then, they know they're black. Officer Tatum knows he's black. Tampon Daniels knows that he's black. Huh? Jesse Lee Peterson is smart enough to know he's black. He's not stupid enough to call himself white. He just happened to be a Sambo. So don't try to make it seem like the same anti-black racism exists in our community the same as it does in your community. You're telling a bold-faced lie. We are not the same. We don't think the same. We love being black. We embrace it. Afro-Latinos and Latin culture are ashamed of their blackness. They hide it because they know that they're not going to be accepted by their white Latino family members or white Latinos in their community. So they're ashamed of their blackness. This is why they say, no, me no black. And you're looking at them like, man, you look a damn fool. You sound like a fool. No, me no black. They're embarrassed to be black in Latin America. Meanwhile, here in the United States of America, we're proud to be black. We celebrate it. We're not ashamed of it. We wear it like a badge of honor. You can't say the same for the Afro-Latinos in Latin America. They're ashamed of being black in Latin America.
Of color struggle with this.
It's so frustrating.
The tension between the Black and Latino community needs to stop, and we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-blackness also exists within the Black community itself. All communities of color struggle with this, and the reason why is what we all have in common. We were all colonized and trained to have a mindset of you versus me for survival. But that ends with us. We need to lead with unity and not division. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to stop
Latinos and Hispanics will pretend that the N-word is not offensive, but then get offended by being called something like Latinx. Non-Black Latinos will pretend that the N-word is not offensive, but then get offended when you ask them to not use the N-word. A common thing that you'll hear Latinos say when they're called out for using the N-word is, well, if I can't use it, they can't use it either. They referring to Black people. And that begs the question, why do you want to say it so much? Latinos, you have so many alternatives to use. Latinos have a whole other language of words that they can use instead of the N-word, like fu, ese, whatever you want. But instead you choose the N-word. And it's one thing to use the N-word and then change your language when somebody tells you it's not okay. It's another thing to defend your use of the N-word because you're too lazy to expand your vocabulary. And a lot of Latinos will go on and say, well, it's not that big a deal, you know? I have Black friends and I say it around them and they don't mind. And that's fine. Sure, if your Black friends are okay with you saying that, that's them. But let's be honest. If you are a non-Black person using the N-word, you are very careful with who you use that word around. Because you know that the moment you use it around the wrong person, that you will get checked. And it won't be as nice as somebody telling you to not use the word anymore. Let's stop playing dumb. I heard somebody say that if we can't use the N-word, then Black people can't eat tacos. As if eating some culture's culinary items is the equivalent of using a racial derogatory slur that was meant to dehumanize people. It is not the same. It is not an equivalency. Don't play dumb, because the moment you try to defend your use of the N-word and you are non-Black, all you do is let other people know that you aren't playing. You're just actually dumb.
If you're a Black person who's tired of hearing non-Black Latinos say the N-word, stay for a second.
A little darker than I am. And when my parents see a Black person in the elevator, in the building that they've been in for 37 years, nobody from New York is surprised at Kenny. Nobody from New York is surprised at all. You know why? Because you see the color of my skin, right? My father is a little darker than I am. A little darker than I am. And when my parents see a Black person in the elevator, in the building that they've been in for 37 years, when they see a Black person in the elevator, you know what they do? They don't get on it. They don't get on the elevator. Okay? And if you want to test that theory, I just want Black people not from New York, because people that are from New York, Black people from New York, barely go to the Spanish bodegas. They go to the Ox. I hope y'all know that. People that go to the Spanish bodegas is because that's been their local store, that's been where they've lived at probably for a very long time, or that's the only store in walking distance. Because Black people already know what's up in New York. They don't, while we going, don't, I'm telling you right now, as a Dominican from New York, from the Bronx, don't go to no Dominican store, no Dominican bodega if you're a Black person, because they don't like y'all. I just want,
I want y'all to hear it again. Don't take your Black behind to that bodega. They don't want you there. So quit going. Quit spending your money with these folks.
In walking distance. Because Black people already know what's up in New York. They don't, while we going, don't, I'm telling you right now, as a Dominican from New York, from the Bronx, don't go to no Dominican store, no Dominican bodega if you're a Black person, because they don't like y'all. I want that to be known. Because I identify as Black, right? Because look at the color of my skin. Anywhere that I am around these kind of people, I'm Black. They don't give a damn that I'm Dominican. I don't give a damn I'm Dominican. I'm Black. But I see how my family treats Black people, how they talk about Black people, and it's disgusting. And I actually urge Black women, stop dating our men. They don't really appreciate y'all. They just don't, and they never will. You know why? Because they come from people that have never appreciated Black people and never will appreciate Black people, and they will never respect Black people. Okay? I identify as a Black gay woman in the world. My sister supports Trump. So that should tell you everything you need to know. The fact that they don't support their own family members, and y'all think that Dominicans are going to be supportive of any other race. Dominicans, let me just tell y'all, because this don't get talked about enough, Dominicans are racist to other Hispanic people. I hope y'all know this. Dominicans are racist even to other Hispanic cultures. I want y'all to know, they talk mad shit about Mexicans. Mad shit about Mexicans. Y'all already know Dominicans and Puerto Ricans got beef because I don't know why. They just do, because Dominicans just talk mad shit about everybody. They talk mad shit about every race, even Hispanic races. So I don't understand why y'all thought it would be any different with black people and Kenny. This man is a Dominican from the Bronx. The most ignorant people. Not all of us. Because like I said, I identify as a black gay woman. I am married to a black woman.
Oh, so she married to a black woman. Now, she says she loves her blackness, right? She wears it like a badge of honor, but then she said her people, her Dominican people, are very racist towards black people. She said, stop going to Dominican stores. They don't want you there. They don't like you. Stay away from them. Do yourself a favor.
Be any different. Talk mad shit about Mexicans. Mad shit about Mexicans. Y'all already know Dominicans and Puerto Ricans got beef because I don't know why. They just do, because Dominicans just talk mad shit about everybody. They talk mad shit about every race, even Hispanic races. So I don't understand why y'all thought it would be any different with black people and Kenny. This man is a Dominican from the Bronx. The most ignorant people. Not all of us. Because like I said, I identify as a black gay woman. I am married to a black woman. And I don't play that. A lot of my peers are black. A lot of my close friends are black. I've always grew up around black people. I'm from the hood. Like, come on now. I talk like, come on. Like, first of all, I just want you to know my family a lot of times because I don't like, I'm not a hick. I don't go with that shit. I don't listen to Spanish music in my car. You get in my car, you're gonna hear rap. You're gonna hear Lil Baby. You're gonna hear some shit, okay? You're not about to hear no ta 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 ta. No, I don't hear that shit.
She said, you ain't gonna hear that. She said, nah, ain't none of that going on in here. You're gonna hear some FBA music, some hip hop. There's no Rica and Gracia. Let me stop. Bless that like button if you haven't already. We got 400 some people in the building. Get us 400 plus likes.
So I always get told that I want to be a negra. And I'm just like, yeah, do you fucking see the color on my skin? I don't want to be black, bitch. I am black. And even if I washed my ass 20 million times, I would still be black. So I want y'all to understand this is not surprising. I just want black women to stop dating Dominican men because they're fucking racist. And even if they aren't, because there are good men in the bunch, right? But guess what's gonna happen when you go to that man's family? They're gonna talk shit about you. And even if they don't do it in your face, you're gonna walk out that room and they're gonna talk mad shit about you. And they're gonna talk mad shit about him for being with you. So I hope that this
I've been saying it ain't just Mexicans. This mentality is embedded in Latin culture. I don't care if you go to the Dominican Republic, Cuba, anywhere they speak Spanish, they're going to have this anti-black mentality because they've been indoctrinated and brainwashed by the Spanish conquistadors. The Spanish conquistadors imprinted all these people with this anti-black mentality. You better learn to accept reality. Accept things for what they are and not for what you want them to be. Anti-blackness is a part of Latin culture. I don't care where you go. If they speak Spanish, if they've been colonized by the Spaniards, then they're going to have that anti-black mentality. They spread it that globally. I don't care where you go.
Everybody the truth about Dominicans. They're homophobic, they're racist, they talk a lot of shit. It gets worse and worse from there, but that's all I'm gonna scratch the surface on. And I just want y'all to be aware. Reminder, my father is darker than me, but when him, my mama, and even him by himself see a black person in the elevator, they don't get on the elevator.
So he black himself, but he acts like a white person as if them white folks ain't looking at his like white folks ain't looking at him like, let me get away from this black man. You got Afro Latinos, black Latinos who look at white people, you got Afro-Latinos who look at black people the same way that racist white folks do. Now, ain't that something? You black yourself, but you got the mindset of the colonizer, the same white supremacists who hate black people. This black person who speaks Spanish look at black folks through the same lens of a white supremacist. I'm not surprised, though, because I understand Latin culture. I understand how embedded anti-blackness is in that culture. I get it. So, no, I'm not surprised.
They go anywhere and see black people, they exit. And honestly, I want y'all to keep making them uncomfortable. And I just want y'all to be aware. Reminder, my father is darker than me. But when him, my mama, and even him by himself see a black person in the elevator, they don't get on the elevator. They go anywhere and see black people, they exit. And honestly, I want y'all to keep making them uncomfortable. Keep making them uncomfortable. I make them uncomfortable. So, there's that.
If you are a Latino and you are still racist in 2025, you are the problem. Because how is it that seeing everything that you're going through right now, how we're literally getting racially profiled, you are still finding it in yourself to think that you are better than another minority? They are literally looking at us and judging us by the skin, by the color of our skin, by the way we speak English, by the fact that we speak a second language, and by our jobs. Does that sound familiar at all? If somehow you still have these biases against the black community, if you can still find it in yourself to justify your racism, you are the problem. And let's not even talk about the Latinos that are racist against their own fucking Latinos. Like the Puerto Rican video, where the Puerto Rican was talking smack to the Mexican. Don't even get me started on that. Because at this point, we are all the freaking same. When is it gonna click on you guys? Click, appear, that we are all the same. We're all brown. We are all the enemy here. This is the time more than ever when we should be united. If you could not find it in yourself to find unity or find the importance of community before, this should be the time. So if for some reason you are still justifying your racism, you've lost the plot. Seriously.
Racism in the Latino community is absolutely horrendous. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was introduced to this Salvadorian girl by one of my friends. The school that I went to for a short period of time, it was predominantly Black, Hispanic, and Latino, with Hispanic and Latino being the majority. When I first met her, she had long brown hair, big brown eyes, and red rosy cheeks. I took a liking to her. We're heading into winter break and we decided to get to know each other during that time. We talked pretty much every day. We went on a few dates. It was a great experience. During this time, we were sharing so much about each other's culture. She was telling me all about El Salvador and Salvadoran culture. I was telling her more about Black culture that she didn't know about. Despite our different races and backgrounds and how heavily divided our school was, we still had a good relationship. After winter break, her and I decided that in the future, we were going to keep our relationship on the down low. Only close friends will know about our relationship. At the time, I did not understand why we even did this in the first place. Why is it such a problem and a nuisance?
All right, so now you get it, man. And I wanted to play a couple of these clips so you guys can get a better understanding of what's really going on, man, and why I've been saying the things that I've been saying for years.
This is the Danza de los Diablos, or the Dance of the Devils.
These are Afro-Mexicans in Mexico. These are forgotten about people.
It's performed on South Mexico's Pacific coast, the region with the country's largest concentration of Afro-Mexicans.
No es de la África la danza.
These dances don't come from Africa. They are Mexican, but these instruments are African and we make them ourselves. Now the black people have united with the local culture and mixed with the local people along this coast.
So you see this right here, man. Southern Mexico.
We multiplied and there are now many black people here.
This country is home to more than 1 million Afro-Mexicans, yet these are marginalised and often forgotten communities. They represent around 1% of the national population.
Oh man, you see this? Hit the like button, family.
Mexico's 2020 census is the first ever to include Afro-Mexican.
So 2020, so they barely added it. I gave these guys a little more. I said 2015. No, they barely added their black population to the census in 2020.
to include Afro-Mexican. Census is the first ever to include.
Listen to this. Listen very carefully.
Mexico's 2020 census is the first ever to include Afro-Mexican as an ethnic category. Mexico's legacy of slavery began hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
The slaves in Mexico were in the places where there was mining. This town was founded around the year 1800, most likely by fugitive slaves who escaped to the coastal regions where they could survive on what they found here.
Today, that original African culture still
bless the like button. This is Mexico.
Exists in a state dominated by indigenous tradition.
Yet this stretch of coastline between Oaxaca and Guerrero states is an impoverished part of the country. There's not much tourism here.
The most impoverished part of the country because it has a large population of black people, Afro-Mexicans. They don't give a damn about these people. They barely added them to the census 6 years ago. So if they barely got added to the census if they barely got added to the census 6 years ago, so then that means they barely got added to the Constitution. That means that blacks in Mexico didn't even have civil rights. Afro-Mexicans existed in Mexico for centuries with no civil rights. They live in the most impoverished communities in the whole country. Neglect. They ignored their existence. No media coverage, no representation in the media, no representation in politics. They pretended like these people never existed. They ignored these people and deprived them of simple resources. That is a fact, family.
And local industry doesn't extend far beyond fishing and agriculture. Yet few black Mexicans leave to seek better opportunities, and those who do find the wider country not very welcoming.
See, they know the white Mexicans don't like them. They're hated in Mexico. Haven't you noticed you never see the Afro-Mexicans crossing the border and coming over here? You notice that they don't let black folks come over here. When you see Mexicans crossing the border by the millions, you never see the Afro-Mexicans. You might see some darker skinned Colombians, some darker Venezuelans, and I'll be like, where's the Afro-Mexicans? They don't let them come over. They keep their ass in Mexico. Nah, you ain't coming over here. We'll let the whiter skinned Mexicans cross the border, but you blacks in Mexico, nah, y'all got to stay, man, y'all got to stay home.
Indeed, for Rosa Hernandez, the lead councillor of Santo Domingo Armenta, the Afro-Mexican experience is isolating.
We're a vast minority in this country.
Well, of course you're going to be the vast minority. You know, most of y'all population have died off. You're mixed with a lot of other people. You've been neglected. Man, anyway.
So that's why many people have never heard of us. They think we're from another country. They don't consider us. They think we're from a vast minority in this country. So that's why many people have never heard of us.
Pretty girl, pretty young lady right there, ain't she? Beautiful, pretty young lady. She identifies as Afro-Mexican beauty. Rosa Hernandez. Afro-Latina. Have you seen her? Afro-Latina.
We're a vast minority in this country, so that's why many people have never heard of us. They think we're from another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. But we are Mexicans, and it's only fair that they recognize us, that they value us as much as anyone else.
As the Black Lives Matter movement around the world seeks change and equality for Black Mexico, the challenge for these communities is still at the point of showing they exist. Alistair Baverstock for CGTN.
Oh man, I had to bring that to y'all, bro. I had to bring it. I had to bring the heat. I had to bring the smoke. Letting you know that it ain't no damn joke. King Supreme. Giving you the real. The truth is a bitter pill. The bitter pill that most people don't want to swallow. You're tuned in to one of the best in the game. King Supreme. Realer than rap, no cap, delivering the hard-hitting facts. And that's that. Hey, homie, let me see what else we got, man. I got some more ammunition. I got some more ammunition loaded up for you, man. Watch this. You're gonna hear American Cholo make excuses for the reparation thing. Yeah, buddy. He gonna make excuses for this. Oh, no, I'm not against reparations, Holmes. Like, yeah, man, come on, bro.
That's what it is. Let me see.
Check this out. Ron McDunn.
Mr. Alonzo, how are you? Dressed because the mob squad's already out there. People are sending me all kind of video clips. They're getting like little 2-word segments of my stuff, and they're saying, "See, look what he said. He said the ER word. See, he said no reparations," and they're trying to push that in the, especially like in the Tariq Nasheed fucking realm. So I just wanted to have that conversation, and the reparation one came up because there was a young guy that hit me up earlier on Instagram, and he was all upset about it, and he was calling me a racist because I was against reparations, and I told him, my man, only because I disagree with you doesn't make me a racist. I just disagree with you.
Let me ask you this: Are you against reparations for other groups, and are you against reparations for groups that have already received reparations?
I'm against reparations across the board because
so you were against Japanese receiving reparations for being interned?
At this point, it's over with. If I was back then, I think I could really answer that question. But now I'm like, you know what? It's like if that's the case, I think it'll be a slippery slope where all of a sudden we start going to, all right, then every Mexican American who could show that they were kicked out of here owes money. The Indians are still have all kind of treaties and lands that they're not getting their stuff back. It's just a slippery slope, and I believe at the end, the taxpayer, and I'm coming at it as a taxpayer. That's the only thing I'm coming at it as a taxpayer. But I want to hear your take first about California slavery, because you said
we're paying taxes for illegals right now. American Cholo, do you know when these illegals come from your country in Mexico, our tax dollars are paying, our tax dollars are funding these people? Their medical, their dental, their housing, their government benefits comes out of our taxes. They are using our tax dollars to fund illegals that come from your country, your homeland. But I bet he ain't got a problem in the world with that. He ain't got a problem with that. As long as our tax dollars goes to his people who came illegally, he ain't got a problem with it. So when he says that, oh man, I only got a problem with reparations because I'm a taxpayer, so I'm against reparations for all people. I'm looking at it from a taxpaying perspective. Well, we're paying taxes for all these illegals who come by the millions yearly. But of course, he don't have a problem with us paying taxes for that because those are his people.
What's slavery in California?
Yes. Well, I said they participated in slavery.
Okay.
The main thing is that when blacks escaped from slavery down south in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, and they came to California, the courts of California respected all the Fugitive Slave Act laws of the South and extradited those quote unquote free slaves back to the South. So there's no doubt California did play a role in the slavery during the 1850s and 1860s.
So I take it that you are for reparations?
I'm for reparations when any time a group has been oppressed and you can prove that oppression and you could trace that oppression to either its people or its descendants. Absolutely.
Right. Now how would reparations look? Because there was another guy who jumped in here. Hey, DT, thank you for that super chat. Let me read this real quick. Gaspar Yanga, African hero to Mexico, with his own statue in Mexico. Chicanos just don't know the history of Mexico very well. Yeah, we know that one, but you got to remember that Gaspar also was the one that told, I forgot who was he fighting with, the Spaniards at the time, that told that pretty much any other black people were coming. He wasn't saving them. He saved his people, but people try to make it a little bit different. But go ahead, Alonzo. So what does reparations look like?
You see how he tried to downplay Gaspar Yanga? Gaspar Yanga was a black man in Mexico who fought off the Spanish. He played a major role in Mexico gaining their independence from Spain. So don't try to downplay Gaspar Yanga's role in Mexico being liberated from Spain. Mexico gaining their independence from Spain. Gaspar Yanga played a major role in that. So don't ever try to downplay Gaspar Yanga. Yeah. Press that like button if you haven't already. Look up Gaspar Yanga in Mexico. Gaspar Yanga was a soldier, a rider,
It looks like cash, just like
he used to give me that money.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the way it's always been done. I'm not requesting it in any particular way. But
Right.
they gave cash to the Japanese. I mean, you're saying in 1948 we should have never given the Japanese anything. I'm saying no, they deserved every penny they got. Germany gave the Jews cash. You're saying that the Jews shouldn't have got anything from the German government for those 2 or 3 years of oppression. That was only 3 years of. How long was the Holocaust in Germany?
Well, it went like 5 years, no?
Okay, 5 years. How long was slavery in the United States?
Ooh, it's still going on, my man. It's called prison.
Well, I'm talking about the actual chattel slavery and slave slavery, physical free labor from
400 years and change.
Yeah, 300 plus years.
Yeah.
The United States gave reparations to blacks.
So if they can give these people reparations for what they went through in 5 years, and guess what? The Jews didn't get exterminate. I mean, I've got to watch my words, man. The Holocaust didn't take place here in America. It happened in a whole nother country, but yet they got reparations from the American government here. They went through it for 5 years. We went through slavery for 300 plus years. Then when slavery was abolished, we dealt with Jim Crow for 100 years. Jim Crow lasted from the 1860s to the 1960s. So when they abolished slavery, you still had to live under Jim Crow laws. That's another form of enslavement. That's a whole nother form of oppression. And black folks had to go through that after they got out of slavery. They said, okay, we're gonna let you get out. We're gonna remove you from the plantations. We're gonna give you your freedom. But guess what? Now we're gonna put you under these Jim Crow laws, so where you can't go here, can't go there, you can't get educated at a certain school, you can't get certain jobs. You can't get a loan from the bank. There was a lot of restrictions on you during the Jim Crow era. So yes, we're gonna take the shackles off of your feet and neck and your back. Give you a little bit of freedom. You ain't got to live on a plantation no more, but you still have to live under these Jim Crow laws, which is another form of slavery. That's all it was. Jim Crow was another form of slavery.
During the Tuskegee experiment, which was a 40-year experiment where they were testing syphilis remedies.
Right.
Did those people deserve the money that they got from the government?
Yes, I believe so.
Rosewood was this town in Florida. John Singleton did a great movie about it, where whites came in there and decimated that town, took all its value away. Did the descendants of Rosewood deserve those reparations?
I believe so, and just like the one they did over here in the beach where they gave it back, but
yeah.
Then the same thing would go for maybe I'm looking at it because it would be like then the Dodger Stadium needs to give that land back to the Mexican community that it was stolen from, Chavez Ravine.
Absolutely.
Or get paid some money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know how many communities that got burned down or tore down or they turned that community into a lake? Lake Lanier in Georgia was once called Oscarville, a thriving black community. They turned that black community into a damn lake. There was thriving black communities in Alabama that they never talk about. I got the names of them. They turned the few black communities in Alabama, the state of Alabama. These were once thriving black communities. They turned it into a damn lake to destroy the black wealth that would have, basically their main goal was to destroy black wealth because they seen how wealthy the blacks in that community was becoming. They were independent. They wasn't reaching out to white folks for a damn thing. They was getting wealthy in their own community. They had farmland, business. They were getting ahead in life. They were making moves. They was elevating to the next level in society. White people saw that. They looked at that as a major threat. So they decimated those communities and turned it into a damn lake. They did that to plenty of black communities across the country. Ocoee, Florida. Look up Ocoee, Florida. July Berry. He was a sharecropper. He owned land. He was teaching black people in Ocoee, Florida. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ocoee, Florida is right outside Orlando, Florida. It was big on citrus. So while cotton was big in Mississippi and Alabama, citrus was the biggest thing in Florida because of, you know, how the state of Florida produces a lot of oranges and citrus based on the weather. So it's a good place to grow citrus. So Florida was big on citrus. A lot of black people were owning land. July Perry organized black people. He was teaching them how to vote. Do you know that the white supremacists, it was sanctioned by the government, and the white supremacists burned that town down and unalived a lot of innocent black people, all because they were organizing and voting. Each one teach one. They was elevating their people. White folks looked at that like a major threat and said, "Nah, we got to burn this place down." So what happened? They unalived July Perry, along with a lot of other black people, destroyed the city completely. I mean, burned it down to ashes. They did it out of hatred. They did it out of jealousy. That happened to plenty of thriving black communities in this country. I did a story about that on my last channel.
I believe that the way that they leveled out Chavez Ravine back in the 50s, using government and eminent domain. But here's the thing. They did give money back then for eminent domain. They didn't just take the land away and give nothing. But there were those.
The money was nothing though. It was pennies to what that place was worth.
It was some landowners that did not want to leave and they were forced out. But someone could look that up. In the 1950s, how much money did they give?
I'm not sure, but I know there were some people that didn't want to leave, and they did bamboozle them. They told them they're going to make new housing over there, and once the housing is done, they had the model and everything. We're going to let people come back in here. And me personally, I think they knew all along exactly what that place was going to be, and they just kind of faked the funk and kicked everybody out.
Yeah, but nothing compares to the 300 plus years of chattel slavery in the United States, which was sanctioned by the government and supported by almost all the states of the Union, even the states that didn't participate directly into slavery. So,
but if you look at the history of the world, wasn't that just the norm of the world? And we're trying to put today's standards back then, because there was slavery between let's say Aztec and Mayan tribes. There was slavery between African American tribes. There was slavery all over the world at the time. So
all right, man, I'm done, man. I can't listen to American Joe, man. Yeah, man. So that's the question, man. Are most Mexicans and Latino anti-black? I would say yes. We have enough evidence to prove it. You know, that anti-blackness comes from their country. They bring it from their homelands. They bring all of that culture over here with them once they get here. That is a fact, homies. Don't doubt it for 1 second. Be about it. Don't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? It's just the truth. The honest to God truth. The hard-hitting facts. The truth shall set you free. It is what it is, man. Support the gang. Play upon the King Supreme.
doesn't that just kind of say, all right, we're going to go back now and we're going to give all this money? Because if that's the case, I mean, dude, I think we'll be in the trillions.
Well, a lot of countries have. My lineage goes back to slavery, but under the Dutch government. Do you know that the Dutch government has given reparations? Any government that has benefited from slavery either has already paid reparations or should. Now, you're talking about Aztec and Mayans. You're talking about there's no government now that you can say.
No, I know, but I'm just saying how populations back then, because like how they say they're taking names off of schools because this guy's if you put today's standards to back when this country began, everybody's a racist. But in that reality, that was just the norm.
Well, you know, a lot of governments have paid. Most of all the European governments, from Portugal to the Dutch, including the United States, have already paid out reparations. So I don't think
they don't want to give it to black folks. Like, they'll give reparations to everybody, some form of payment, whether they give you land or some form of payment. They gave it to everybody except black. But like I told you, the white man ain't gonna give you nothing, man. They're gonna do everything in their power to not give you reparations. Hell no, they don't want to give black folks reparations. They're gonna say, man, you better get it out of the mud. We ain't giving you a penny. We ain't finna give you a dime. You think we enslaved you for 300 plus years just to turn around and give you reparations? Absolutely not. That will defeat the whole purpose of enslaving you in the first place if we just gonna turn around and give you land and reparations. Hell to the nah.
Asking for reparations is anything unusual or nothing that these countries have not already been paying out in the form of hundreds of millions of dollars. Hey, this whole COVID relief money that we got in 2020 is an example. That's a reparation in a sense.
Right.
We got free money. We got free money during COVID.
We made a bunch of lazy ass people that didn't want to work. I mean, I had homies fucking taking like 2 years off. Cause now they're getting that free check, and look at our inflation. That's a whole different discussion. But you know what, Alonzo, I want to tell you something right now. When you were saying about the Japanese, it's not the Germans, because I haven't really gone, but I did go to one of those Japanese encampments, right? And it was freaky, eerie as hell. And when you brought that up, that kind of also, I'm like, all right, well, yeah, you know, when you say that, I see the Japanese, and yeah, they definitely should have got something back. So, I mean, to be honest with you, Alonso, you kind of changing my mind by saying that, man, because I think sometimes
make sure that you guys bless the like button. We didn't have 400 some people watching. Get us 300, 400 something likes. It's only right when I deliver this good content on a late night.
a lot of times where we sit from, we don't empathize a lot of times with somebody else's culture, and I could see something like that. I would just be, you know, more I don't want to see what it looks like. I wouldn't want to just be fucking crazy and then everybody just say they want an outrageous shit going on.
And there's ways to figure this out in a logical sense, using history, using previous reparation payouts. Right now, the city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, which denied for many decades that they even oppressed the black people in that city, there's talks about all the descendants from Tulsa receiving reparations for what the city of Tulsa allowed a whole bunch of white people to do back in 1922.
The massacre?
Yeah.
Tulsa massacre, yes.
And I remember when I was a student in the 1990s in college, I would talk about the Tulsa riots. And at that time, the internet was just being born, and a lot of people were denying that the Tulsa riots even occurred in the first place. Right. And that's one beautiful thing about the internet, is that you could you could unbury what the government has tried to bury. 100 years ago, the government didn't realize, there's going to be a thing called the internet that's going to come out, and it's going to revolutionize the way information is spread going into the 2000s. And Tulsa, definitely, I believe those people of Tulsa, Oklahoma deserve reparations, but they're in the early stages of it, talking about it right now.
Yeah. I would still, like I was telling the homie Hoodie Hood, man, I would still also would want it to be a federal thing if it was it, because I think, like I said, California trying to do that reparations, they're just full of shit.
Well, what do we have here? Well. Arra, hala. Hala bara dala, arra, hala.
Well, days after posting a racist rant on social media, a Houston police officer is fired. The police chief calling her behavior entirely unacceptable.
Also, the mayor today speaking out. Megan Reyna with new reaction tonight.
Houston police say they acted as quickly as possible to fire now former officer Ashley Gonzalez, but they had to follow state law and give her due process. The police chief even adding in his statement, just like the community, he was deeply disturbed. The calls for termination answered. Ashley Gonzalez is no longer a Houston police officer. I hate. It comes just days after this video she posted on social media was shared by thousands online. Gonzalez is heard saying a racial slur at least 25 times.
We're humans first.
The community has been outraged. Protesters gathered throughout the morning outside police headquarters. Mayor John Whitmire writing in his statement following the news, quote, "Let this incident serve as a warning to all City of Houston employees. There is zero tolerance for racism in my administration, and if you see it, report it immediately."
Well, I've never seen anything fast-tracked this quickly, but I've never seen anything like this before either.
Retired Houston Police Captain Greg Freeman, who spent 34 years with the department and worked on the Internal Affairs Division, says Gonzales does have the opportunity to appeal this decision, but he doesn't think that will go far.
I can't think of any legality of an arbitrator or civil service that would overturn this termination based on what we've seen.
Ashley Gonzales. Gonzales had been with the department since 2024. Prior to joining, she was with the Marines for 4 years. But even with this termination, Freeman says she still has her Texas Peace Officer certification. It's up to the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement to revoke it.
Is there a possibility she could be hired by another agency? Absolutely, there could be. What agency would do that? I don't know.
While this firing is what activists have been calling for, they still want to learn more about Ashley Gonzales' time with the department. Just this afternoon, the Houston chapter of the NAACP released a statement asking for the department to release her arrest records. Meanwhile, we've reached out to the district attorney to see if they're looking into any cases she may have been involved with. We're still waiting to hear back. Reporting downtown, Megan Reyna, KHOU 11 News.
Let me hear you say, na 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 na. Let me hear you say, na na na. Let me hear you say,
You can air out your dirty laundry, or you can live your life with putrid, skid-marked calzones and be like, this is fine. In my last video, I told you about the dude in grad school who looked at me in my face and was like, you're the kind of scholar who's gonna sell out their people by airing out dirty laundry. And yes, I am. So I know you think that I forgot, but when I first launched this TikTok page, I was posting about Latinos in the US, calling it Latino Studies 101. And I said that unit number 5 was going to be about Latino anti-blackness. And guess what? We're going to get started. So this series is going to focus a little bit more on the relationship that Latinos have with racism. Okay, because Latinos receive it, but they also tend to sometimes be agents of racism that police the boundaries of racial hierarchy and that reinforce those boundaries. So listen, this is not about blaming each other. This is about understanding the roles that we play, because every time that we hurt each other by making fun of each other or by talking down about each other's culture, customs, when we look at people who are a different pigment than us and berate them, that is upholding white supremacy. And it's painful to talk about. Latinos don't like to talk about it. I went through an entire PhD program on Chicano studies, okay? Latino studies, where nobody around me, other than the Black scholars that I was in conversation with through the Mellon Mays program and in the sociology department, not one single Latino scholar tends to deep dive into racism, okay? And the racism that Latinos affect on each other. If we want liberation as a people, we cannot skip this step. So I'm going to be breaking down a couple of topics to help us understand this a little bit more clearly, even though this is TikTok and it's hard to do that. If we don't understand how racism lives inside of our communities, and I know that you know that it does, because a lot of you just went to a Thanksgiving dinner yesterday where you spent time around your family and you heard them say some racist shit, okay? This is inside of our communities. It's within our language, within our beauty standards, within our institutions and the ways that they operate. It's in your tia's comments about your nephew and whether he's light-skinned or morenito. But understand this, we cannot approach liberation, we cannot show true care for our neighbors or true care for ourselves unless we grapple with what is happening, what was done in the past, and how we're going to change that to move into the future. we're not going to be able to build the communities that we deserve unless we break this down. So I'm going to be starting by, you can air out your dirty laundry, or you can live your life with putrid, skid-marked calzones and be like, this is fine. In my last video, I told you about the dude in grad school who looked at me in my face and was like, you're the kind of scholar who's gonna sell out their people by airing out dirty laundry. And yes, I am. So I know you think that I forgot, but when I first launched this TikTok page, I was posting about Latinos in the US, calling it Latino Studies 101. And I said that unit number 5 was going to be about Latino anti-blackness. And guess what? We're going to get started. So this series is going to focus a little bit more on the relationship that Latinos have with racism. Okay, because Latinos receive it, but they also tend to sometimes be.
All right, so you heard it. You heard it. Getting down and dirty. Like UGK, home. If you can't respect the fact that I'm strapped, keep your ass at home.
Cool. First and foremost, thank you so much for coming on the forum. It's definitely an honor to have you on today.
Happy to be here.
Okay, we're going to get right into it. For the viewers who may not recognize you, please let them know definitely who you are and where you're from.
My name is Tanya Hernandez. I'm from New York City, and I teach at Fordham University School of Law.
Wow, okay, all the way from NY. I want to talk about the book. Can you tell us about the name of the book and where we can get it and what it's about?
The title of the book is Racial Innocence, Unmasking Latino Anti-Black Bias and the Struggle for Equality. It is now available for pre-order. IndieBound website as well, Beacon. I'm sorry, you asked me what the book was about.
yeah, tell them a little. Give them a little background on it, but I'm sure they're gonna want to check it out. I want to check it out as well.
I got so involved in selling mode, I forgot to mention what it was about. So the book is essentially about trying to give detail.
Hold on, my bad. She ain't that ain't the one. That ain't the one I was looking for, right?
Dear Latinos, being racist to other Latinos, indigenous, and black folks will not bring you any closer to the whiteness that you crave so much. And if this, dear Latinos, being racist to other Latinos, indigenous, and black folks will not bring you any closer to the whiteness that you crave so much. And if this message bothers you, then it was probably meant for you.
Interesting. So Latinos have a problem with black people. Let us see what they have to say.
Black people in Mexico were not even acknowledged until recent years. Their presence was not acknowledged by the government up until very recent years. But yet, they have been there since days of slavery. You understand? So, since the days of slavery, a lot of the slaves in North America, in the United States, a lot of the slaves ran to Mexico to hide. And a lot of them have been living there. And not only that, but a lot of these Spaniards, they brought some slaves to Mexico too. So black people have been in Mexico for hundreds of years. But Mexican government has not acknowledged their presence until very recent years. And that is why I made a video and called it Afro-Mexican. Because these people have been there for many years with their own communities, speaking Spanish of course, but they acknowledge their African ancestry. They acknowledge it. That's why they self-identify as Afro-Mexican, because they're acknowledging their African roots. And the government bothered with them. When you watch telenovelas, Spanish telenovelas, have you ever seen a black man? No, never. But yet, black people have been there since the Europeans have been there.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Latkana Esther. If you're new here, hi.
All right, Esther. Well, I appreciate you for the video, Esther.
Addressed Afro-Latinos in my video, but a friend of mine called me and it muted the video, which I didn't realize, so I had to cut it out later. Anyways, as someone who works with a lot of Afro-Latinos, let me tell you that whenever I ask them about all of these kind of programs, the majority of them have told me that as Afro-Latinos, they feel safer and more welcome and more included when it comes to black programs that are, again, designed for black and brown or black and Latinos or whatever they're called, than they feel when they go to Latino founder communities. Which totally makes sense considering how colorist our community is. And that's exactly a reason why it's important to build intersectionally safe spaces and not safe spaces or support groups or whatever they call themselves that are by design othering the very group that they're saying they're supporting.
Okay, my turn. Something that I'm not afraid to admit as a Latina is that a lot of non-Black Latinas will not only speak over Black women, but will also insert themselves in conversations and try to make them about themselves.
You are just goals for so many young Black women who just look
For
up
more,
to
so many
you.
women.
So many women. Yeah, for women too, but for Black women, we need.
That's just Gina Rodriguez being Gina Rodriguez. We know that Black women give you heebie-jeebies. Anyway, she then goes on and contradicts herself.
I got into the arts so that I can hopefully create a path to have a reflection for our community, for Latinos, you know?
I thought we were talking about all women. Now this next clip of J-Lo isn't as obvious, but I'll give context after.
It is just the norm,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
when you no longer need to ask that question.
Right, yeah. I think when I first started, one of the things that I wanted to do, because I was Puerto Rican,
Latina.
Pita Nyong'o is saying that it's basically really trendy right now to work with underrepresented communities, and she's sharing her experience as a Black woman. And immediately after, J-Lo has to bring up the fact that she's Puerto Rican, that she's Latina. Do you think that she knows that Lupita Nyong'o was born in Mexico and speaks fluent Spanish? And my last example is none other than Salma Hayek. Unfortunately, there is no video or recording of this conversation, but it's arguably the worst one. She basically got into a heated discussion with Jessica Williams and says a bunch of crazy shit like, who are you when you're not Black and you're not a woman? Who are you? What have you got to give? So when you say women of color, Jessica, do you mind if I look into your eyes? And I interrupt because I feel misunderstood. It's not shutting you up. I feel misunderstood at one point. We should also be curious.
Xenophobic remarks against not only Latinos, but also immigrants from other countries. But Afro-Latinos, we're not surprised at all. Racism is alive and well in the Latino culture with things like mejorar la raza, which means to better the race, which is like street eugenics. Calling your family members based on their skin tone, like negro, negrita, as a loving term, but it's obviously derogatory because the anti-blackness is so prevalent. And the craziest part, if we were able to break down the Afro-Latino votes from the white and mixed Latinos, we'd probably see that Afro-Latinos inflated the Harris support from Latinos.
I've been called a gatekeeper so many times because I like to emphasize the fact that being Mexican doesn't automatically mean you're indigenous. And in a weird way, I'm kind of happy the whole Nuri Martinez and those other people, the situation happened, because I think it's like there's no denying the fact that brown people can perpetuate discrimination and racism as well.
Yeah, man. Make sure that you guys get the lights up, man. We doing our damn thing, man. This Saturday night, I had to give it to you. Brought you some more heat, man. So admit it, the cat is out the bag. The jig is up. Everybody knows this. This is common information. We all know that Latin culture is they're anti-Black. The cat is out the bag. The jig is up. There's no more hiding. Everything has been exposed. Denial is a sickness. I'm here to give you the business.
Oh, you don't know how many times I've read, oh, but my grandpa was so dark. My tia was so dark. And it's like, so what? You can literally look like me. And that doesn't mean we're going to be treated the same in Mexico because I'm indigenous and you're not. And then it's always, oh, but that happened so long ago. Like, no, like this is literally your parents calling us indios, your grandparents calling us indios. Like, you probably used that at some point too. That's why when people are like, oh, like this is a Latino-owned business, or oh yeah, that actress is Latino, whatever, or Mexican, it's always like people expect me to be happy, but it's kind of like, so what? Oh yeah, and I don't want to hear it from that. Yo crecí en México y nunca me pasó eso. Obviously, it didn't happen to you because you're not indigenous. I grew up in Oaxaca y sí me pasó a mí, so yeah.
Honestly, I'm so glad that you're asking this because I've been wanting to talk about this for a very long time, and I'll probably make a more detailed video in the future. But I would be lying. I think a lot of us Latinos would be lying if we said that there wasn't anti-blackness in our communities, because there is. There is this deeply rooted anti-blackness that I think has gotten better in recent years, but it certainly exists. And as someone whose brother-in-law is Black, whose nephews are Mexican-American Black, I can't tell you how angry and frustrated I am, and honestly just disappointed by the atrocities that I keep seeing today when it comes to anti-blackness in Latino communities. And I can speak to specifically in Mexican communities. And just really quickly before I go to answer your question, what I find really sad is that when you look at history, the Latino community and the Black community have always helped each other out. You look at the abolition of slavery in Mexico, which happened only 8 years after Mexico gained its independence from Spain. And they were bringing slaves from the US through Texas into Mexico to grant them freedom. And this was particularly done because of President Vicente Guerrero, I believe. He was Afro-Latino, which, by the way, was one of the earlier presidents in Mexico. So how
Vincent Guerrero was the second president of Mexico. His nickname was El Negro. So he made it possible for the Blacks to come there because he was Black. So he wanted to look out for Black people. But right after he abolished slavery, Vincent Guerrero was assassinated by the white Latinos in Mexico. Look it up. Vincent Guerrero, also known as El Negro, he abolished slavery in Mexico, and he was assassinated shortly after that by the white Latinos in Mexico. He was fighting for Black people to have equal opportunities and rights, and they didn't want that. They wanted to fight to maintain systematic white supremacy. That's why they assassinated this brother, Vincent Guerrero. Unalive him. You know what I'm saying? Got rid of him. Pretty boy, let me bring up Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy, man, what's your thoughts on everything, my brother?
What's up, family? What's good with you? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, brother, man. It's chilling, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, another fire show, you know what I'm saying? Another one, you know what I'm saying? Another fire broadcast. But yeah, man, this is ridiculous, bro. It's gotta stop. But it's never gonna stop because at the end of the day, they're gonna consistently, no matter what we do, if we do something, they're gonna follow behind us and be on our necks, on the back of our coattails, trying to align themselves with things that we do. But you know what I'm saying? They want to contribute to our pain. They want to contribute to our struggle. It's like that's, and it's obvious because what they've done to to the melanated people of Mexico. You know what I mean? Try to whitewash everything. You know what I mean? And then I'm so tired of the half history stories. You know what I mean? It's like and all the false like I just saw a rapper the other day in his lyrics. He actually says that hip hop is not a Black thing. I was like, dude, it's like I was just like, bro, in his lyrics, he actually busted in his lyrics. I'm just like, bro, these people they gotta be the most ignorant people that we have on this soil, because when people like you and other people and like me, and we actually know our history, we actually know what we come from, and we try to share it and be like, nah, that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're listening to the John D. Rockefeller version of our history. That's not what it is. And you tell them, they'll be like, nah. They don't, because they don't want to hear the truth. That's where it comes from, the whole Latino thing.
Yeah, you got Boxer trying to say, oh man, Vincent Guerrero, he was mestizo. Listen, his nickname was El Negro. This is why he fought for Blacks. He's the one who abolished slavery. He the one.
And what?
Go ahead, brother.
Oh, my bad. And what does mestizo mean? Ask him, what does mestizo mean? See, that's the kind of games that they play. You know what I'm saying? Like no one else knows. We know what mestizos are. Mestizos means mixed. It means mixed people. Damn. It means mixed people. That's what it means. That's all it means. You know what I'm saying? It means mixed people. That's what it means. Okay? So, like, stop playing. They're sitting there playing in our face because they think that we don't know their history, that nobody here studies. That's why you guys in your country, this is an actual fact, you guys only got only 22% of your population has a freaking high school diploma. Not saying that means anything, but come on, we got to really, really, really take a look at this here. You know what I'm saying? We're not dealing with the brightest crayons in the box, okay? You know what I'm saying? You guys aren't the sharpest pencils, okay? It's like obviously you try to play games, and it's like multiple, and your own people call you out, and you're still acting like, oh no, that's not true. It's not true. There's thousands of Hispanic Mexicans that are calling out your guys' anti-racism, telling about your guys' real history, but you whitewash it every time because you guys are stuck in a mindset, a colonialist mindset. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you do.
Let me say
Colonialist
this.
mindset.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a colonial. It's a colonizer's mindset. And let me say this: they whiten his pictures up. Like, listen, there's a woman in Mexico who called out the Mexican government for whitening up the pictures to make Vincent Guerrero look lighter than what he was. His name was El Negro. He was of Afro descent. He identified as an Afro Mexican, which is why he did so much to help the black people there, which is why he allowed black people to come when he was the president in Mexico. And to take it a step further, when he abolished slavery, he was fighting to get black people more rights, and he got assassinated by the white Latinos in Mexico. Vincent Guerrero got assassinated by the white Latinos in Mexico because he was fighting so that blacks in Mexico have equal opportunities. They didn't want blacks in Mexico to have equal opportunities. They said, man, if this fool keeps doing what he's doing, blacks are going to have all type of rights and all type of things going on. So they assassinated him because they never wanted blacks to have anything. This is why they barely added blacks to the census in Mexico in 2020. But of course, bro, over the years, they whiten up the pictures to strip his blackness away. But that's what Europeans do. That's what colonizers do. I'm going to bring you back up, pretty boy. Let me bring up Scoop.
Salute, Red. Salute, pretty boy. Man, my boy up here at the forum cooking them. Hey, man, I'm with you, Red. That picture been lightened up. Look, man. Look, like pretty boy just said, man, we tired of the game plan. I mean, dang, even when we come with receipts, we come with proof. No, that's not true. It is true, whether you like it or not, because you don't like it, don't make it a lie. But when y'all come, you come, no, that's not true, but not one receipt. You come with hearsay. You come with that Pelican Bay education. That Pelican Bay education in historical facts is not real. They just gave y'all that to pass the time so you don't feel bad while you in there. But you don't come with anything that's actual and factual. You done got on Red's here. Well, he believe in what he sees on TikTok. Really? Is one okay, let me understand. Let me get y'all straight here. We had what's called an education system. And in the United States, that is required pretty much from the first grade to the 12th grade. Now, sometime during that time, you're going to study what's called history. And most of us that's up here that got a little age on us, we didn't get an iPad shoved in our face. We didn't get a cell phone shoved in our face. We actually had something. Now, wait for it. Some of y'all probably don't know. A library. And they had historical books in there where you could go read. I know you don't understand this, Vato. I know you highness don't understand this, but that's where you would go, read books with your own two eyes, and brush up on your history. Now you're trying to tell us that all them books and all those libraries all around the world is a straight lie because you don't like it. Because this man on the screen is light. Y'all don't even know, even though that picture's been lightened up, most of y'all don't know. You think everything black is dark skin. You don't know black people have come with blue eyes, green eyes. I got relatives with long hair like white people, but they black. Their mama black, they daddy black. That's why when you guys see them, you think they Mexican. You think they're one of y'all. But you don't know that we come in all different shades. But you didn't know that, did you? You don't know anything about history. You think you know our history because what you watched that Dr. King video? Oh, because you heard the name Malcolm X. Y'all didn't even know what Juneteenth was. And we supposed to listen to y'all about knowing about history, right? Y'all didn't even know what Juneteenth was. Oh, isn't that the Black Wall Street or something like that? Something like that. But I bet you don't even know how many towns were destroyed. Because I know you're like your colonizers. When we come with facts and proof, that's a lie. That's a lie. No. That's not true. You come with the same thing. You don't come with no new material. You don't come with nothing original. You don't come with receipts because you don't like it, because you want to be the colonizer of black people. And that's not going to happen. You want to step on us to rise up so you can get above us, so you can look down on us and tell us what we have, what we are, and where we came from when y'all don't know. I'm with Red. My people from the South, they didn't know what a Mexican was. When they came to LA, when they migrated, they still didn't know what a Mexican was. You know why? Because you people weren't around. That's why. Nobody knew what a Mexican was. Now I was like, no, that's not true. We was here before. No, y'all wasn't. Who told y'all that? The California Department of Corrections, when you was in there trying to study? When that iPad was in your face and you thought you was going to get some kind of knowledge, all of a sudden y'all come out of prison, you some kind of hood historian. You got historical facts. Oh, because Clever told you that, or Smiley told you that, or you heard it from Joker? Is that where you got it from? Because all y'all ain't got no dang sense. That is not, we teaching you historical facts. No, that's a lie about LA. No, LA is Hispanic. It was built by Hispanics, but you ain't got no proof. Where's your proof? Once again, because Clever told you that, because Smiley told you that, because Joker told you that. That's your proof. The only thing you can do is go to, we know your history better than y'all know y'all history. Oh, no. That's not true. Oh, no, we created rap. No, you didn't. Y'all people wasn't even listening to rap. It was called jungle music. Y'all called it everything. But y'all was sitting up seeing that swag black people had, huh? So you got tired of pulling your pants up under your chin and you want to do what you see the black man do. No. That's not true. Everything we telling you is fact, backed up by facts, backed up by books, backed up by history, and you still got the nerve to say, no. That's not true. At this point, you're just playing ignorant. You don't want to accept the truth because it don't paint y'all in a good light. You bad as your colonizer them white folks. They just the same way. As soon as we hit them with facts, they saying the same thing. No, sirree, Bob, you guys didn't do that. We did all that. You guys should be happy that we brought you over here to America. We was already here. I'm going to tell you, Vato, you don't get that many people on a ship to come colonize another country. So wouldn't it make more sense that most of us was already here? You hear a few little things, transatlantic slave trade. Now all of a sudden you think you know everything. You don't know nothing because where are you getting your info from? You're not getting it from books and you're not getting it from us. Once again, what'd you do? Get it from Clever? Get it from Joker? Oh, and I guess now in the chat we got a boxer. So maybe you got it from Boxer. Because all of y'all don't know what you're talking about. Learn some history. Learn some black history. No. You don't know nothing about black history. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know that our baby was used as alligator bait. Did you know that? Do you know what redlining is? Do you know what Jim Crow is? Describe it. Do you know what sharecropping is? Do you know our land was stolen? Do you know banks paid the slave owners for losing us? Did you know that? No, you didn't. Do you know about all the black historians that came up out of slavery? Did you know them? That was teaching other blacks what they went through during slavery? Did you know that? Did you even know that? You'll say the same thing to white people. Say, well, nobody's still alive. You guys won't wait. That's a lie. There are still people. Listen, Latinos. There are still people alive. Everybody ain't dead, fool. But you still want to say, no. That's not true. And I'm going to land it right there, Red.
Hey, man, listen, man. Hey, they see what they don't realize is, like he said, we've been chopping it up. When slavery got abolished, they gave a lot of the slave masters reparations. Like, hey man, I'm gonna pay you for losing your slaves. Since you can't work black people for free no more in the plantations, we're gonna compensate you financially. You lost your slaves, we're gonna give you some money. Now imagine a white man receiving money because he can't work you for free no more. So they gave the slave masters reparations for losing their slaves, man. That's crazy, man. Pretty boy, you got it, man.
It's crazy work, crazy work. You know, school got at him. You know what I'm saying? And that's the bottom line. Is like you guys don't read. It's like and it's like, man, for us to ask you anything about history, anything about technology, anything about science or anything, no, that's not your lane. And I get it. We understand that you guys don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't have it. That's why you don't have the amount of adventures and patents that we do as a people. It's like, yeah, I challenge any one of you guys to name 100 patents that a Hispanic or Mexican has right now to this day that affect that the rest of the world needs or uses. We can name because our people created a lot of stuff in this country. Our people are the reason why we are the backbone of this nation. It's like even the president said it. So you guys, but you guys don't like that. It's like you guys are constantly kind of trying to compete with us. We're not even worried about you guys. We want to do our own thing. Leave us alone. Stay out of our culture. Stop trying to claim our culture because we're not trying to claim yours. Like we're not. You do you see us? Name five black mariachi bands. You know what I'm saying? Name 20 Chinese mariachi bands. Okay, okay. Name 100. Name four Indian Mexican restaurants, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I can name. I bet you I could find 10 Chinese rappers. I bet you I could do that. I bet you I could find 100 Indian rappers because we are the sauce playboy and you guys better recognize that. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you guys never will because you don't want to accept the truth. See, there's this book that I've been read. It's called Country of Lies. It's by Sarah Sabulchevich. Guys can look this up. It's called Country of Lies, and it's about the Mexican culture and the things that they do to lies. This lady, she did a 15-year research study on the 1001 ways that they lie. And one of the things that they do right here, deny truth and recreate history. It's like that's one of the things. You look this book up, man. I challenge anybody, look this book up and you'll understand the mindset that they have. And it's very colonizing. It's like and they do it. You see it with hip hop. It's like, bro, just respect our culture and we respect yours. We're not going around saying that we created the freaking taco because we put cheese on it. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. It's like so how are you gonna say that you created something that we created that was built out of our struggle as a people? That's disrespectful. And the thing is because you guys don't respect hardly anything. You guys barely respect your own people. And we know this. We've seen it over and over again. Like you don't respect your own people in your own country. It's like, okay, you guys, let me just say this, okay? And I'll land, Red. You guys care so much about the plight of the Hispanic or Latino community so much. Take your asses, okay? Take your asses to Mexico and stand up for the people down there that are getting done very, very bad by the cartels that's controlling your country, that's unaliving your children, that's doing all these things to your people. You're over here protesting to stay here, but you're not. But you care about your people so much. Protest about how they're doing the people in the country that you come from. Okay, and you don't see one protest about that out here. See any protest about that? No, you're protesting ICE. You know what I'm saying? But you're not protesting about how your people are getting unalived in the nation that you come from. No. You know what I'm saying? You don't care about them because you don't respect them because you barely respect your own people, like I said. And so what if you barely respect your own people? I do not expect you to respect us because you show it over and over again how you don't by simply trying to put yourself in something that is not even yours, that does not even come from you. And I land, Red. Thank you for having me up, bro.
Appreciate you, pretty boy. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the homie, pretty boy, for pulling up, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, they don't know, man. Like I said, bro. They gave a white man reparations, man. Hey, man, we're going to give you some money, Mr. White Man, because I know you made a ton of money off of working those blacks for free on the plantation. Since you can't work those blacks for free no more on the plantation, we're going to give you a big old check, a form of reparations, Mr. White Man. We're going to give you a large sum of money because you can't work blacks for free no more. Here's some money, Mr. White Man. Here's your reparations. And that's what happened. You know? But anyway, man, I'm gonna be back in the morning, man. I was gonna bring some more people up, but I gotta lay it down, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping into this show today. Much love and much respect. Microphone check. Hey, homie, I don't listen to people on TikTok. I don't get my information from people on TikTok. What I do is there's a lot of knowledgeable people on TikTok that share their experiences. Who am I to deny them of their experiences, right? They have experiences, and these people on TikTok come to speak on their experiences. I've seen it myself, so I know it's true. The thing about a lot of Mexicans and Latinos, they're in complete denial about their anti-black racism. They'll never admit it. You can bring all the evidence, fingerprints on the scene, video footage, several witnesses, and they're still going to deny it. They're still going to say it's not true. Why? Because denial is a mental illness. It is a sickness. It don't matter how many receipts you bring. Most of them will say this is not true. That is crazy. Pure insanity. Hey, man, peace, love, and blessings. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I'm going to shut this thing down. Hey, man, I'm grinding, man. So I'll be back in the morning, man, like 9:30. We're going to be right back on it. Kick back, watch me some TV for a minute, watch me a movie, and, kick my feet up and get some rest. Make sure that you guys bless that like button. And yeah, hype the video, man. Don't forget to hype these videos. Go back and hype my live stream from earlier. Hype that video, hype this live stream. So if you're really rocking with the team, if you're really rocking with King Supreme, make sure that you hype the video. Subscribe to the channel, like the content. Anyway, man, we're going to get up out of here, man. It's King Supreme. Peace.